guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kari with Crochet Me Knots. Good to see you. Before we get started, let me just remind you to always check the description box for any notes or any corrections I may need to make regarding the video. I also always link any reference to any video, or in this case, for instance, I will print the link to the pattern where you can print this little mug cutout that you can use for the little cozy. So I'll link that in the description box along with the link to my Instagram and my eBay stores. Alright guys, so welcome, and on today's tutorial what we're going to be making is we're going to make this really cute gift idea. This is episode number 6 on my Christmas gift idea series, and we're going to make a little set with a mug cozy plus 2 little coasters. Okay, so I understand that not all mugs are the same size. The size I'm using is a pretty standard size for a coffee cup. So it's just very standard. It's a standard size that comes with like your dishware set. This I actually bought at a Dollar Tree, and it's $1. So the idea that I had for how to kind of put it together for a gift is really cute. So I bought the mug, and I bought a bunch of these little cups, very plain. It just has a little black trim on it, for $1. And really, if you buy the skein of yarn, it's only about, about $4 for it, and you just need 2 buttons. So you can get quite a few of these out for Christmas. So what I did is I got the mugs, I crocheted the cozy and the coaster. So I filled it with some tissue paper, and then I just filled it, with, you can put your favorite tea, little baggies of tea, your little packets, or you can put some flavored coffees, or maybe even like some hot chocolate little packets there. And then you can get a little cellophane bag, so then you would put your little cozy around it, and like that. And then you could just get a little cellophane bag and put it in a little cellophane bag, and I think it's a really cute gift idea. You have your little cozy, and then you can put your little coasters like maybe in the back, or just arrange them like that. So I think it's a really cute idea for Christmas, and it's not expensive at all. And I think, all this handmade stuff is always such a hit with people during the holidays. So what we're making today is, of course, we're making the mug cozy and 2 coasters. If you want to make more coasters, of course, that's up to you. I'm just going to show you how to make the one, and I'll set the link for this little printable little mug, and you can get the paper for it. I actually got it at Office Max or Office Depot, one of the two. So they have it there, and this fits the size that we're making today, which is the standard, the pretty standard coffee cup. And then I just put the little coasters in there. If you'd rather gift it just like that, then you could do it this way as well. Okay, so what we're going to use is, I am using, in this tutorial, I'm going to use cotton. It's been, a lot of people have asked me about these cozies. If you have to use cotton, you really don't have to. And the reason why is because although we are putting it somewhere that it's going to be a little warm, but it's not we're not touching actual direct heat like with a pot holder. Cotton is more durable than acrylic, so that's one thing to consider. So if you do need to wash it continuously because you're using it, then that's something to consider. And in that case, I would suggest using the cotton. But if you're making it with acrylic, I don't think it's a big deal. So that's completely up to you. I'm using cotton because I had this leftover variegated cotton yarn. So I'm going to use that for today's tutorial. But that's up to you. So I'm using this cotton yarn. It is a medium weight. It's a worsted weight cotton yarn. And We're using a 5mm hook. You need 2 buttons, and then we need a yarn needle and a needle to sew in our buttons at the end, and a pair of scissors. Okay, so the size that I'm making today is a standard size. So what I suggest you do, mine is 10 inches. So go ahead and grab your cup and then just measure all the way around it. This one happens to be the standard. It's about 10 inches. So as you can see, so that's the size we're making today. But if your mug's a little bigger, then just go ahead and crochet the length that you need for the cozy to go all the way around. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and let's get everything we need and let's get started. Okay guys, so we'll start with a slip knot, and I am going to chain 8. And again, so you can measure yours. This is just enough so it'll go under the handle, so don't overlap the handle. So as you can see, that's just the right size to go right under the mug handle. So if you have a wider or a narrower, then you would have to just make sure that, you know, you can slide it under the handle of the mug. So 8 is good for me. Go ahead and measure yours out. I don't know what size your mug is, but then just measure out, make sure it's enough for the cozy to slide under the handle. And we are using a stitch that's in multiples of 2. And it's a very simple stitch, and it's a very pretty stitch. As you can see, it's got a really pretty texture to it. And I am not sure, I could be mistaken, so if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I think it's called a blanket stitch. I'm not sure. But I've used it in the scarves, blankets, of course, because it's just so easy and it leaves a very nice texture on your project. Okay, so we're going to start with, on our second chain from the hook, we're going to go ahead and crochet a single crochet and a double crochet. We're going to skip the next chain and we are going to do the same thing in the next one. So we're going to do a single crochet. A single crochet, we slide our hook into that chain. So insert your hook and pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. That's a single crochet. And a double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2. So that is our double. We'll skip the next chain and repeat that once again. So single crochet and a double crochet into that same stitch. Skip the next one, and on that last chain we'll repeat this. Single crochet and a double. And that's our first row. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, so we are going to work only in the single crochets of the previous row. So this first stitch is our last double crochet that we crocheted. So in that single crochet, we're going to go ahead and work our stitch, which is a single crochet and a double. So we're going to skip that double, and into that single, we're going to crochet our stitch. Single crochet, double crochet. Skip that double into our single, single crochet, and a double crochet. And into the last one, That's our last single crochet and a double. Chain 1, turn, and you can start to see the texture there. It's really pretty. And we're just going to repeat this. So again, we're going to skip the double, going to the single crochet, and work your stitch. Going to the single crochet, and keep going. And I just wanted to show you a little trick I use for this particular stitch to keep the edges pretty neat. Otherwise it kind of waves out and then we have to go around it with a single crochet. So what I've done is, okay, so after this one we skip that into that single. We're going to go into it, do our single crochet, and instead of going right back into that same stitch for our double, we're going to work the double in that little, you see kind of a V right there. I am going to work it into that one. Chain 1. And that's just giving us a very straight edge, so that way we don't have to come back and do our single all around. Okay, so we're just going to keep going, just working on all the single crochets. We're working our single crochet and double crochet. So if you did the chain 8 at the beginning, you'll have 4 of these stitches in each row. If you did more, then you'll have more. But this is what we're going to do all the way up. So you're going to keep crocheting, and again at the end go into that, work your double in that last stitch, chain 1. So you're just going to keep going up, and then like I said, if you measured your cup, if you're doing it 10 inches, and you're going to keep going and make a 10-inch strip, and then you'll stop. Don't fasten off because we need to make the little loops for the buttons at the end. So just continue crocheting all the way, and I'll meet you back here when I get to the 10 inches. Alright guys, so now you should have the length that you need to go around your mug. So I've already done my 10 inches. And what we're going to make now is the loops. These little loops that go around our button. So I'm going to make the loop first, and then we're going to sew the buttons. That way you have the right length. So I made them a little long because I didn't want to sew the buttons too close to the edge, because you won't be able to see them if they're too close to the handle. So that's why I wanted to make these a little longer so they can go out, and so you could see the buttons in the front of the mug. Okay, so now that we're at the end here, don't fasten off yet. So we're going to go ahead and chain 20. If you want to make it shorter, you can. That's just my preference. I wanted to make it longer so I could move the buttons a little more to the front of the cozy. Okay, so once we have our chain, then we're just going to go right back into the base of a chain and then just slip stitch. And then just turn your work this way. And we're going to slip stitch on top of each of the stitches all the way across just to get to the other side. That way we don't have to cut our yarn to make the other loop. So just slip stitch on top of all the stitches here. There we go. And again, we're going to chain 20. and then just go right back down to that stitch and slip stitch, and then just fasten off. So secure it with a chain. You can cut. There we go. And then now you have your 2 loops. Then you can go ahead and hide your tail with your yarn needle. Alright, so what we do now is go ahead and take your mug, and you can just slide this guy through. Nope, wrong way. There we go. So your loops will be, so your handle's always on the right side. So there we go. So now just go ahead and put your loops out so you can mark where you need to put your buttons. So just grab a piece of yarn or a little safety pin. I have this little clippy, so I'm going to mark it. If you have stitch markers, then go ahead and, so there we go. Just mark where your buttons need to go. So there we go. And then just sew them in. There you go. So you'll sew them in there. And that's the end of the cozy. So of course you'll hide your tails with your yarn needle. So secure your buttons. If you want to do needle and thread, you can, or you can use the same yarn to stitch them in place. But that is the cozy. And so now we can get started with our little coasters. So you're going to make 2 of these, or however many you want to make. These are very, very easy. And we're going to start with a magic ring. So if you don't like to make it, or you're not, you might not get it, or you don't know how to make it, you can start with a chain 4 and then join with a slip stitch to the first chain and create a ring that way. I always like to use the magic ring. It just makes it cleaner. So just go ahead and grab your yarn. So just hold it with your thumb, wrap it around your fingers, and hold it with your pinky. Slide your hook under that strand, and then just pull this one from behind, pull it forward, and then just wrap your yarn around. So just yarn it over and make a chain. It took me a few times to get it, so that's why I would always do the chain 4 and then just make a circle that way. So if it's easier for you, go ahead. Okay, so we're going to chain 2, and we're going to crochet 12 double crochets into the circle. This chain 2 does not count as a double crochet. So yarn over and go into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So go ahead and crochet 12 double crochets. So go ahead, and as you go, you can start pulling on the little tail there, so you can start to close the circle. So go ahead and finish 12 double crochets, and I'll be back. All right, so I've got my 12, so just pull your circle tight, and then we're just going to chain. We're going to skip that chain 2 and slip stitch at the top of that first double crochet. Chain 2. Remember, this chain 2 never counts as a double crochet. Okay, so for our increase, the second round is going to be just 2 double crochets in each double crochet. So we're going to crochet 2 into each stitch. So go ahead and crochet 2 double crochets into each stitch, and at the end of this round you will have 24 double crochets. So go ahead and continue, and I'll meet you back here at the end of round 2. Alright, so we're at the end of row 2. We have 24 double crochets. Again, skip that chain 2, and at the top of that first double, we'll slip stitch, chain 2. Okay, so this is our last round of increase, and we are going to crochet 2 double crochets into the first stitch and 1 double crochet into the next. So a repeat on the next one. We're going to do 2 double crochets into that 1 stitch and then 1 double crochet. So our repeat's going to be 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet. So now 2 double crochets and 1 double crochet in the next. So continue all the way around, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, and we will have 36 double crochets at the end of row number 3. And I'll be back for the end of row 3. Okay, so we're at the end of row number 3. And we finish with 1 double crochet. And again, skip that and slip stitch on top of that first double. So this could be the end of the coaster. So if you like it just very simple, so I've already made another one. So this is just a very simple coaster. It's just a round. So I will show you a little edge to it if you rather embellish it a little more. So it's up to you. So I can give you the options. You can just fasten off here. Or what we could do is go into, so we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go into the next stitch. And we're going to slip stitch. And chain 1. Go into the next. Slip stitch. Chain 1. Go into the next. Slip stitch. Chain 1. And it's a very simple little edge to it. It looks like a little braid. So you could do that. So let's continue. So just slip stitch, chain 1, just a nice way to end. So you could just have it very simple. If you want to do that edge on it, you can as well. So just wanted to show you that option, but that is basically it on the coasters. There's other edges. If you're familiar with the picot, you could do a picot, which is not difficult at all. So we chain 2 at the beginning and then just single crochet into that first. And go into the next slip stitch, chain 2. So wait, I think I did that wrong. So I think this one, the slip stitch and chain 1, is really cute for this particular for just a simple round coaster. So that's up to you, but just wanted to give you the option of the edge with that little braided edge or just a very simple coaster. So that is it. All I need to do now is just sew my buttons in, and I am finished with this little set. Alright guys, well I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. These make for great gifts. It's very easy. Actually, it's very inexpensive. Out of this, I mean, a whole skein of yarn, and I still have so much left over, you can get a lot of sets. So if you're giving them away, or even if you're selling them for Christmas, you know, these are great little handmade gifts that people can use as little stocking stuffers. So I'll go ahead and link the link for the little mug koozie, the little printable template. So I'll go ahead and link that down below. and everything else for my Instagram and eBay stores. All right, guys, so hit the like button if you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and check out the rest of my series on Christmas gifts. Very simple, easy to make gifts. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a safe holiday. Please stay safe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.